Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is pre-recorded, okay? So if you guys are in the chat and you're asking me questions for an immediate response, please understand this is pre-recorded. I got a lot of things I got to get done, so I don't really have time to do like a live podcast. However, this is for you guys, and hopefully you guys are okay with it and you guys understand. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about in this podcast is the Google Pixel 7a and, exactly what happened to the marketing of this thing. This video is inspired by somebody that I follow on Threads. So if you're not following me on Threads, definitely give me a follow. All the links to my social media accounts are in the description. So whichever one you're most active on, you can find me on there and follow if you want to. But anyway, this person inspired me to really just kind of, talk about this subject, because if you think about it, every previous Pixel A series device has had some sort of push from Google, right? Of course, during the pandemic and everything, the Pixel 4a didn't get pushed out at Google I/O of that year. But nonetheless, I mean, there was still excitement for it. And, when it dropped, a lot of people were just really excited. But Google was definitely behind the Pixel 4a. And then came the 4a 5G and then the Pixel 5a. The 6a. The 7a just had a little bit of a different treatment. And one would think that this was because the Pixel Fold and the Pixel Tablet both launched right around the same time that the Pixel 7a came out. The Pixel 7a was unveiled at Google I/O of this year, and then it was rolled out. Of course, there's 3 colors that you can buy, at locations like at Target or Best Buy. The Google exclusive color was the Coral, which is the one that I got. And that was only specifically at the Google store, which is the website online. Unless you went to the physical Google stores that are up in the state of New York, then you can probably pick up. I'm pretty sure they had them in stock at those stores. Nonetheless, what we didn't see this year, which kind of had people a little bit puzzled, including myself, we didn't see Team Pixel partnership members get sent the device. So certain YouTubers got it, just like certain YouTubers got the Pixel Fold, certain YouTubers got the Pixel Tablet, but not everybody in the Pixel partnership program got these devices. And I can understand the Pixel Fold, maybe why they weren't giving a bunch of those out. I mean, that is an $1,900 phone. I understand that the tablet to a degree, because it's new to the Pixel lineup. But what I don't understand is the 7a. Usually Google tends to send these devices out to YouTubers to begin reviews and making content about it. So by the time that it fully launches, there are tons of videos out there that's going to have different perspectives on the device and things that, each YouTuber's notice. Is the reason why the Google partnership program exists in the first place. It's just literally to have different content creators with different perspectives kind of go in and talk about the device. So then that way there are, areas of the device that is covered. If one creator doesn't, mention it or talk about it, then for a fact that another creator is going to talk about it. And those are the things that, content creators such as myself feel like that they can definitely help out with. And there's a reason why that, in my earlier days, I was pushing hard, for Google Pixel to kind of like, hey, notice me, right? I kind of like chillaxed on that quite a bit. And I still am honored that there are people that still vouch for me. But, we'll see. We'll see. Fingers crossed, right? I posted it. This is that time of the year where people start wondering if they're going to get chosen by the, Pixel, Team Pixel partnership program, and to be able to say that they're class of 2023. And maybe this is my year. Maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, that was one of the key things that I noticed was that the Pixel 7a didn't get that type of it's still an attractive device, but it didn't get that type of push. It has people wondering why. Is there something changing with the A series devices? And that's what I'm going to talk about in this podcast, is some of the rumors that I hear on various different social platforms, and to kind of rate those rumors. Are they, plausible? Are they far-fetched? Well, you guys will hear my thoughts on it. So the number one rumor that I'm hearing is that they're suspecting that Pixel A series devices are going to vanish, because the Google Pixel 7a and the Pixel 7 are very, very close in specifications as far as hardware, right? There are only subtle differences between them, like the size of the display, the size of the device, the IP certification, and the charging speeds. Those are the most noticeable differences between the Pixel 7 and 7a, as I can naturally name them off the top of my head. When it comes to performance on either Android 13 or Android 14 beta, they are very similar. Software optimization, very similar. Hardware chip, same. Cameras, on par with each other, right? They are different camera sensors, but the photos come out almost near, right? The only subtle differences you'll see in the camera department with these two devices is the ultra wide, as the ultra wide, is wider on one of them than the other. And it's a crazy thing to see. Things like the bezels is not really something that I think a lot of people are very concerned about these days. To be quite honest, it's really not. And I find it funny when I see reviewers kind of talk about the bezels on the Pixel 7a as if they're so intrusive that you just can't get that immersive in-display experience. And that's furthest from the truth. Every time that most people are working with their smartphone devices, they're not too worried about the bezel. They don't really see it. So I don't know why that's still even a subject brought about today. The Pixel 7a I advocate for so strongly, and not just the 7a by itself, but the A series, all of them by, in itself. From the Pixel 3a all the way up to the 7a, I vouch for these devices because these are the devices that's going to give you that Pixel experience without you feeling that you're having some setbacks, some corners cut and everything like that, because that is the entire purpose of the A series. And I think it's a trendsetter that people aren't really talking about these days, right? When you look back before the Pixel 3a ever launched, when you look back at OEMs out there, they were pumping out a lot of, they were pumping out their flagship devices, they were pumping out their mid-range devices, but their mid-range devices had some huge sacrifices, right? Performance was one of the areas that they would sacrifice on. Camera department was where they would sacrifice on. The top end features would be sacrificed upon, and that was prevalent with all mid-range to budget options, right? Budget options, you really can't throw them in that book because they are exactly what they are. The low-end budget devices are to be super affordable and just to allow you to do the bare minimum on them. As you go up in price, you go up in a little bit of what you're able to do with your smartphone. And if you want, the whole cake itself, plus the icing and all the decorative on it, then you get a flagship. The flagship was the one that was definitely going to give you all that and more. That's how it was back then. But ever since Google released out the Pixel A series device, it's been corners cut in areas that people don't mind, right? Like some people don't mind the fact that the Pixel 7a is a, plastic device. There are people that don't mind that at all whatsoever. They just don't. They don't care, and they kind of feel weird because it kind of feels like glass, even though it's not. And yeah. So, with that being said, honestly, I'll switch it up a little bit. But even though, with that being said, the Pixel 7a is a tremendous device. It is. We know this, right? The corners cut, obviously, in places that we're not too concerned about. And, the experience that we're getting is very, very, very similar to the Pixel 7. And that's what we do care about. We do care about the fact that, we're getting the most similar experiences when it comes down to it. That's something that we do absolutely care about. We want to be able to use the Pixel 7a, and if we were to pick up a Pixel 7 and play around with it, not see a significant difference as far as the user experience. User experience always, in fact, counts for that. It will always count for that just on that simple fact that that's what we want. We want to be able to have a very similar experience to flagship devices without having to spend flagship money. I mean, this is the reason why that my channel even started to blow up back in 2013, 14, and 15, was that I was finding ways to modify mid-range budget devices to perform and even handle some of the things that its flagship counterparts could do. And that specifically with the LG Stylo series, that with the ZTE Warp series, a lot of those devices that I was using back then that were, mid-range to low-end budget. And so, it tells the tale of the Google Pixel 7a and exactly the A series from Google, what they're intended to do. And ever since Google did that, you have the Samsung Galaxy A series devices, and more notably on the A50 series, the A70 series. They tend to kind of bring as much as close to the Galaxy S series experience you would get, but of course you're going to see a significant difference there. OnePlus, even going with the Nord N series, like the N10, the N20, N Future, and like the N30 that's coming in the future, possibly. You can see that there. The Moto G stylus and the Moto G Power, you can see that there. So you can really see that a lot of the mid-range devices are really kind of like holding up their end on performance, near close to its flagship counterpart, and cutting corners on things like the body of the phone, what the material is made out of, and those types of things. That's what seems to be the trend that the Pixel A series kind of set. So talking about the Pixel A series and recognizing the fact that it was able to do all this and was able to kind of bring that, that experience that you would get from its flagship to its quote unquote mid-range, it makes people wonder if the 7A has all this going for it, then what initially happened? Like, why wasn't the 7A pushed as hard? Another rumor that they literally consider is that the A series is going to vanish, but not vanish where it does not exist, but kind of like how Apple had the iPhone Mini, the iPhone whatever generation, and then the Pro model generation. Some people are guesstimating that that's what's going to happen. And I just want to say that if that is what's happening with the A series, I don't see Google changing that. Really, that's just a name scheme in all in itself, if they were to change it up. I mean, calling it the Pixel 7 Mini doesn't really sound, it doesn't roll off the tongue all that great. Like we recognize the A line on Pixels. We do. I mean, I was able to title a video called, the Pixel A series. A for amazing, A for awesome, A for affordable, right? And that's a key word right there, affordable. Making a Pixel device affordable for people that don't want to spend a lot of money, giving you the same enriched experience that you would get from its flagship, the Pixel 7, $100 less. Call it what you want, complain about the price or whatever. $100 difference is still $100 difference. Do you know how many, chicken tender meals you can get for $100? Do you know where you can go and eat at for $100? Do you know what you can buy for $100? In the tech space, let's chalk it up to that. Like how many accessories can you buy for $100? I mean, so yeah, $100 does make a difference, okay? And when people stop and think about it, and they're like, oh, well, the Pixel 7 cost $599 brand new without any sales, and the Pixel 7a costs $499 brand new without any sales. I'll just get the Pixel 7a, and I think that's kind of cool. Like, if you don't need the faster wireless charging, if you don't need the fast wire charging, if you don't need the glass back, if you don't need all that stuff, then yeah, the 7a is going to be an option, and that's going to save you $100. It's going to make sense to to save $100, especially this day. $100 is like filling up my car, and to a full tank plus a half a tank over. Okay, because it literally costs to fill up my car today with gas. It literally cost me about $65 to fill up the entire tank. So I mean, if that's the price of gas, then yeah, $100 can, saving an extra $100 can go a long way for you. It can really help out. But with all that being said, kind of just going back to what happened with pushing this device. I think the majority of us might agree on this, but I think the reason that it wasn't so heavily pushed was because Google's main focus was getting the Pixel Fold to all of you. Google Pixel Fold, the first foldable in the lineup, right? Like, think back 2 years ago when the Pixel 6 dropped. Did anyone really think that a foldable Pixel was going to come? I'll let you guys stew on that for a second. I mean, think about that. I certainly wasn't checking for a foldable Pixel, but it's here now. It's here in existence. Came out a couple of months ago. And I see a lot of people that, I follow on social media, some really cool people, some that I even consider my friends. And I'm seeing them buying their Pixel Fold, and they're thoroughly happy with it. You know what the cool thing is about the Pixel Fold that I noticed is that I don't see a lot of people complaining about any issues with it. I don't see anyone complaining about issues with the screen. I don't see anybody, complaining about the battery or any of that stuff, right? So to me, like, the Pixel Fold is like that one device that released and didn't have so much problems to annoy people that a lot of people are content with it, So with that being said, the focus was on the Pixel Fold. The focus was on the Pixel tablet, right? Apple's been dominating the tablet space for years with the iPads and different variations of the iPads, and seeing people actually use it. People with iPhones and with MacBooks and with Mac computers. All the trimmings of the Apple ecosystem, and you see people actually using their iPad, even though they have an iPhone. And they can have the iPhone Pro Max model, the biggest display on the most powerful Apple device released in its generation. And, they do that, and people still have the iPad. They still pull out their iPad. They still go and, play games on it or browse social media, any of that stuff. So, they had that slice of the market. So now that Google's out with the Pixel tablet, which, by the way, I'm hearing great things about it. I'm not seeing a lot of people complaining so much about the Pixel tablet. I mean, there are those that are complaining about the very minor details of the Pixel tablet, the very, very minor details. Things that, to me, are just like weird in all of itself. How it feels, how they're able to hold it, bezels, those types of things. But they're not really talking about performance. They're not talking about camera performance. They're not talking about any of those things. And it's, obviously just because, Google did a fantastic job at releasing the tablet this year. Kind of, diving back into the tablet space, bringing Android tablets back. Because we've had Android tablets for years. Even though, Apple pretty much won like the first battle in the tablet space with their iPads, you still had companies that were making Android tablets. They just weren't that powerful. You had like Digiland tablets. You had RCA making tablets. You had all these really off brands that were making 7-inch tablets, 8-inch tablets, 10.5-inch tablets, 12-inch tablets. And they were running Android, and everyone was always running Android, and the type of processor chip that they used in it and everything was really kind of like making the tablet underwhelming. Okay, if you're using a quad core processor, with like 1 gig of RAM or 2 gig of RAM, you're gonna have a very choppy experience when you have such a large display and so much things to process on that larger display. With such an underpowered chip, is going to create so much lag. So the Pixel tablet, basically, running the Tensor, chip, and having a decent sized display, being able to process everything that you throw at it, was turning out to be a very good thing. So while the Pixel Fold, which is doing good since launch, and the Pixel tablet that was doing good since launch, obviously has the spotlight and the highlight, and also has the full backend of Google. So we can't expect Google to be perfect. No company is perfect. Not even Apple is perfect, okay? So it is forgivable that we didn't see Google really push the Pixel 7a But you know what? It's okay, because that's what I'm here for. And that's what a lot of YouTubers are here for. We're here to push the Pixel 7a. We're here to use the device and tell you guys what kind of experience that we have. We are here to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're here to try to be non-biased, even though technically a lot of us are biased. And the soonest we admit that, the soonest that, you know what, we can get on track with what we really want to say about the device and not have to worry about if it's taken for face value, or if we're, you know, if it's an underwhelming video or whatever, right? Everyone has their opinions, everyone has different perspectives, and those perspectives are shared. And as long as people are watching not just my videos, but other creators' videos and listening to what they have to say about the Google Pixel 7a or any other device that they're reviewing, you know, you're going to get a much better, clear idea of what you want to do on said topic device. If you want to buy it or not buy it, you know. This is the reason why that I'm not so like weirded out that Google didn't do heavy market on the Pixel 7a, because if they did, and trust me, they can. Google has the money to do it, and their parent company Alphabet Inc. has the money to do it. And if they were to just fully go in on their own to advertise and market these devices, that would put someone like me, who's always inspired to want to join up with the Team Pixel partnership program, not just to get a device to review, but to be able to be within that group and join them on their Zoom call meetings, to be able to share my thoughts. You know, that is the ultimate goal, is to get in there and to talk to them about, you know, things that they could bring to future Google Pixel devices that would make it, you know, would attract a different demographic to kind of take a look at them. You know what I mean? The ultimate end game goal for Google is to have people buy their products and enjoy using it and come back as continuous consumers purchasing the newer products that they release year by year. But in order for you to do that, right, you got to have word of mouth, and you got to have people actually looking at your product. And while I did make a video, and of course the video didn't get so popular because people always hung up on the tech stuff, but never the whys behind it, I made a video kind of sharing with everybody my excitement that the fact that, you know, with statistics being shown, Google Pixels is starting to rise in markets across the world. We're starting to see that they're grabbing a good size of the market share for, you know, how they've been for the past couple of years, and their lack of ability to actually market correctly. You know, not dissing them for it, just saying that, you know, their older method didn't really work for them. It pretty much like attracted a lot of us geeks and, you know, phone enthusiasts, but it didn't attract the everyday user. Now it's starting to attract the everyday user. And yes, I can see that the fact that they gave the Pixel Fold to a bunch of hip hop artists and, you know, pop culture influencers did actually make a big step in the Google Pixel lineup. And while it did take away from the Team Partnership Program users who were expecting to get the Pixel Fold and were kind of bummed out that they didn't get the Pixel Fold, stepping out of that puzzle and looking at the whole picture, it made a big move for Google Pixel phones. It put it in the hands of people that were going to influence it to a demographic that otherwise would have never really looked at it. And now Google Pixels are getting a much bigger, broader market, and that's great. Okay, it's not on the level of Samsung or Apple. Yes, not there yet, but it's growing, and that's the thing. When you see growth, there's potential. When there's potential, there's infinite amount of possibilities. So that is my thoughts on the Google Pixel 7a, on why it wasn't pushed and why I think it wasn't pushed so hard. And I don't mean to step on toes. I know there's a couple of Team Pixel partners out there that really wanted to get the Pixel 7a in hand so they can review it. I understand. Sometimes, you know, you just got to accept to take a step back for a moment and let others have it. Doesn't mean that, you know, that you're not a good reviewer or your channel's not good. Doesn't mean that at all. And sometimes they try different things. Now, if the partnership program with Team Pixel is completely done, and they're not going to hand it off to, you know, to other content creators on YouTube. They're just going to hand it to the big time influencers and, you know, maybe some celebrities. If they choose to do that, they choose to do that. I mean, to me, that would be a big mistake, because one of the big word of mouths that continuously had people coming in was the content creators and the influencers on social media. Because it's not only YouTubers that get on the partnership program with Team Pixel, there are Instagrammers and TikTokers that get on there too. It's really who, I guess, I don't know. I was told that current Team Pixel members pretty much like word of mouth push for a particular creator to get invited in. And I don't know, we'll see, because to me it seems like that they just look at your stuff, and if they like your channel, they like your content that you make, they'll invite you. You don't have to have 1,000 subscribers. I've seen partners get accepted in as new class members and their channel only has like 500 subscribers. It's just really who they want to, you know, seek out, you know, and invite. But I don't think that Google is going to disband it and get rid of it. I think they're just going to approach things a little bit differently and maybe save it all for their flagship devices like the upcoming Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. So that is my thoughts on all of it. What are your guys' thoughts? You guys know what to do. You guys can go ahead and drop that in the comments below and I'll read them and check them out. Thanks for checking out this pre-recorded podcast. Again, pre-recorded, so don't be offended if I didn't respond to your chat. It's just that this is not an actual live. I'm just saying, I got things to do, got to handle some things right now. And that's why it's also, you know, only about half an hour long. But yeah, so until then, I appreciate you guys for being here. Smash the like button, share this on your social platform so other people can find my channel, subscribe, and, you know, listen to the podcast and stuff like that. Don't forget to subscribe to the dedicated Google Pixel channel. Because there is a Google Pixel channel that's specifically dedicated just nothing but Google Pixels, all things Google Pixel. And it is growing at a very good rate. So I appreciate everybody that's subscribed to it and is checking it out. And if you do want to help out the channel and you want that help to go directly to me and not having YouTube take any percentages out of it, then there's a QR code right there. And also right there, you can scan that. It's to PayPal. And yeah, you can place a dono there if you want to. That's entirely up to you. But I have it there for those people who do actually want to help out the channel in any form or fashion. And I appreciate that type of help. So again, QR code's there. I'll leave them up right now. Thanks for checking it out. And I will chat with you on the next one. As always, peace.